We turn to 5 on your health tonight, and Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is doubling down on his claims about Tylenol and its link to autism. It was last month the Trump administration warned pregnant women not to take acetaminophen, saying that usage during pregnancy may be linked to an increased risk of autism. Many health experts say the claim is unfounded. This week, Kennedy added to that claim, saying infant boys, and follow me here, infant boys who are circumcised have double the rate of autism because they are given Tylenol after the procedure. So joining us right now is Dr. Todd Ellerin from South Shore Health, a familiar face here at News Center Friends. Great to see you. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
So you've just reviewed the research. Do you see a link?
Absolutely not. We know
Absolutely not.
We know that circumcision does not cause autism, right? First of all, it scientifically and biologically does not make sense. The other point to remember is that circumcision peaked in the 1950s and 1970s when close to 90% of infant males were circumcised. And over time, including the last 10 years, it's fallen to below 50%. So as autism is increasing in the U.S., circumcision is decreasing. They're not linked.
So let me try to separate the two, because is the issue circumcision, or is the issue taking Tylenol after circumcision, and that creates the issue?
Right. So let me answer that by this. The first diagnosis of autism way back when was in the early 1940s, 1941. Tylenol was not made over the counter. It wasn't available until 1959. So autism predated Tylenol. Tylenol does not cause autism. And the FDA has told us that. They've said it does not cause autism.
So would you still recommend acetaminophen to parents, or are there other more effective ways to treat pain in infants?
I think Tylenol is very safe if you have a baby that's being circumcised. There are other things. Breastfeeding can help. There are local anesthetics that can be used, but I absolutely think that Tylenol is safe. Remember, it has to be as directed. There are hundreds of cases of overdoses of Tylenol each year that can lead to very severe and even fatal liver disease. So again, Tylenol is a medication. You only want to take the medication if, for instance, in a pregnant woman with high fevers, because high fevers can be dangerous. If you have a very low-grade fever, you feel okay, there's no reason that you have to take it. But it's definitely the most safe fever-reducing agent in pregnancy.
Would you suspect this conversation and this controversy, and I'll put that in quotes, is going to continue, because it hasn't quieted down?
Listen, I think that we just have to take these things, one case at a time. I mean, without question, the link is surprising. There are studies that have shown associations, but remember about associations. In the summertime, as we order more ice cream and eat more ice cream, there's more sunburn. That doesn't mean that ice cream causes sunburn. They're associated, but correlation is not causation.
Good point. Dr. Todd Ellerin, thanks for your time.
Take care, Eddie.
Maria.